Blog Talk Radio.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you were with us or you were with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Okay, everybody, how you doing tonight? Joseph Gibson, podcasting from Greensboro, North Carolina. Happy Halloween, boo. Trick or treat. Well, the greatest tricks, like I described in my opening for the show here, my monologue here, what I programmed for the show, the biggest trick is our prison system, our Department of Corrections. The name of itself, corrections, is a deception in itself because there is no corrections. We're going to get into the prison system here tonight, hopefully. I did have a guest here scheduled that I did want to come on to the podcast. However, they canceled at the last minute and decided they could not make it. Apparently there was a prior engagement they supposedly had forgotten about, and the show was already programmed. However, maybe they're listening. Maybe they'll listen in the future. Maybe they'll come on in the future. I don't know, but they were invited, and several others were also. So we are live here from Greensboro, North Carolina. It's 8:02 p.m. on the East Coast. However, before we open up and I do my small introduction, I don't want certain people to wait. I do have other callers here who did say they had some things they wanted to talk about, and since my guest canceled, then that means we automatically roll over to you. We allow you to speak and tell what's on your mind. However, I do and would like to address the prison industry, and we will do that here tonight somehow, some way. And however, we usually bounce around from subject to subject when I do open phone lines and when I don't have a specific guest. However, I would like people to comment about the prison system, and let's analyze the prison system and why it's a failure here in America and what can we do to remedy it or fix it. Okay? However, while I line things up and line up other callers that I do have to call some people, they have trouble getting through and they want me to call them so they can listen to the show. I've got about 15 of those people that like to. I can't handle really any more, folks. If you can't get through, you got to log into the chat room or listen via the internet. However, the phone number to call in is 657-383-0616. I don't screen callers. We're always 100% live. If you'd like to talk about the prison system and prisoners across the country, or if you have a story to tell, a horror story, since it's Halloween, and we know there's a lot of horror stories out there when it pertains to the prison industrial complex here in America, that should be very interesting for our listeners, and we do have a lot of people here listening tonight via the internet, via the call screen, believe it or not, and we do have a few in the chat room. Most of them are usually trolls, but that's why they hide in the chat room. But I will connect you live if you want to talk and talk about the prison system or talk about anything that you really do want to talk about that you feel should be addressed here on understanding the times in which we live in today. So that is the title of this show. We've been podcasting since 2014. Anyway, without further ado, let me open the phone lines here to John from Mississippi, and then we'll carry on with the podcast here. So let's take our first live caller for tonight. You're unscreened, uncensored. John, go ahead. Welcome to the podcast here. John, I'm unmuting you. There
Happy
you
Halloween. Happy Halloween, y'all.
Yes.
Hey, first thing, remember, it's Halloween. More children get hit by cars and killed today than any other day of the year. Drive careful, drive slow. Children at play everywhere. So please be responsible driving on the road today. With that said, the prison system. Yeah, it's legalized slavery is what it is, and our courts are nothing but slave markets. So we get what we get. The criminals are the ones that run the system. They're the ones that should be in prisons, not the people that are in there. So it is what it is. It's horrible. It's terrible. But it is a slave market.
2.2 million people. 2.2 million people locked up in America's prisons today, John.
Yeah, because it's a slave market. It's the business. You know, that's what they're in. They're in the business of human lives. Our money's backed by our lives, you know, by humans. It's not backed by anything else. Our currency is us. You know, they sell us. We're just a commodity. We are the only commodity that really has value on this planet. And it is what it is because they control it. And, hey, I'm all good with it because I understand it and I know what we got to do to fix it. And if we're not going to take control of the system.
Okay, John, that was a good point. Not to interrupt you, but before I want you to explain how we can fix the prison system here in America. I'm not interrupting you. I just want you not to forget that. I would like to hear your take on that because that's one of the things I would like to start doing in this show is offering solutions. We can sit here and complain all day long and analyze the problems that we have, which we all know. If you have common sense, we know we have problems, especially with the prison system here in America. And there's a lot of horror stories out there. And if you have a story to share, if you have someone who's incarcerated, we can contact that prison for you if you want. If you have an inmate that's or a family member that's locked up, incarcerated right now, we'll call that prison live. If someone's being tortured or they've been kidnapped and they are being held against their will, or there's an injustice going on, we want to share your story here on Understanding the Times in which you live in today. All you got to do is have the courage to stand up, because remember, that person that's trapped in that concrete box right now can't talk, has no way to communicate with anyone, has very little contact with the outside world unless it's through a criminal attorney or a prison guard. I don't like to call them correctional officers because they hate that when you call them prison guards. Well, that's what they are, prison guards, and they're not correctional officers. But go ahead, John. The floor is yours. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. In prison, they're known as turnkeys because all they do is hold the keys and turn the doors open and close. They don't actually work or do anything. The prisoners do all the work in the prisons, you know, and they just turn keys. That's their job, which is fine. You know, at least they're making a living. It is what it is. Now, to solve the problem, we have to have control. If we don't have control of our country, we can't solve any of the things they're doing because none of this is by accident. None of it is being done, you know, through, we didn't realize what we were doing type thing. No, they know exactly what they're doing. They have control, and they're doing it. So we have to take control. So a revolution is the only solution. And once we have a revolution, not only do we solve the prison problems, we solve all the problems the government is dumping on us. The drugs on the streets, you know, the trafficking of the children. Right now, I was just looking at an article. United States is #1 in the world for child trafficking. Thank you, Donald J. Trump, for that, by the way. With the reform you did 3 years ago, you brought us to #1. Hey, he made America great. He kept his promise. We're great. We're the greatest child trafficking nation in the world today. Amen, brother, to that. You know, just keep supporting him. Let's go vote for him. Let's see if we can reach 100% instead of 60%. You know, let's vote him back in. You know, let's keep voting for these terrorists that are nothing but puppets. And let's see if we can reach 100% of children in the United States being trafficked. If we could bump them out and the government just come and grab them and traffic them the minute they come out. I mean, that's where we're heading.
And just so you know, John, I just want to let callers know, I see the callers on the call screen, call board here tonight, the switchboard. You will be connected live, unscreened, uncensored, so just hang tight, hang patient. Right now I have John from the state of Mississippi on here, and he's addressing the prison, he's commenting on the prison system here in America today. And if you'd like to add to that, by all means, call in 657-383-0616. Go ahead there, John. Continue, please.
Hey, I believe that you see all these other countries, people that are paying attention anyways, 80% of the population is standing up against the government. They don't have guns in those countries. United States, we have guns. So people that think we ain't got the power, we got the power. All we got to do is stand up. I believe that 80% of the people will come out on the streets if we all decide on the same day to get out there and exercise the Second Amendment peacefully. It's not a matter of shooting anybody. It's just a matter of arresting the real criminals, our government.
And you do have a movement, John, that you're promoting there on social media about exercising the Second Amendment. Would you like to explain that also before I open up the phone lines? How this little movement that you've got going on here about the Second Amendment for November 2nd, 2020?
Yeah, that we all take up our responsibilities and do our American duties to correct the course of our government as prescribed in the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, and the Bill of Rights. It is our duty to correct the course of our government.
Sounds like, John, you're going to be sending a lot of people to prison.
No. We do it lawfully. It has to be done lawfully. It has to be done per the supreme law of the United States of America. We're not going to shoot. We're not going to riot. Everything in this country belongs to us, we the people. Even the power plants that we built was built through the labor of the people of this country, everything. So it's all ours already. We shouldn't be paying for it. We shouldn't be getting extorted for it. We maintain it. We keep it going. We should all have it freely. Bottom line, that's what it works out to. We build everything. We do everything. We build the roads.
So what's
okay?
So November 2nd, John, okay, we know that, John, not to cut you off here because we got a lot of callers. I know you got a lot to say. And sometimes you get a little frustrated that you want to say what you have to say. But how do we exercise that Second Amendment right on November 2nd? How do we do it? What's the course of action here you're advocating?
Okay, we walk up to the government buildings, okay, peacefully with guns in hand. We go to the door. There's going to be officers. You tell them, hey, we're here peacefully to arrest your boss. We're not here for you. All your crimes of the past have been forgiven because police officers are nothing but extorters, so we forgive you. Just don't commit them anymore. Don't extort people. Don't hurt people anymore. And we arrest the leaders of this nation, the leaders of the towns, the leaders of your state, and we take control, the people. We get rid of the monetary system because that's what creates us being sold. When there's no monetary system, they can't sell us. Nobody can buy this country again. We work as a
John,
community.
we arrest them. Okay, John, not to cut you off now because I'm getting pounded here with questions here. You got to remember, I have a switchboard here, and I'm getting pounded with emails. All right. And what do we do with those people? Hang on. This question's for John. What do we do with those leaders or people that we arrest? Who's going to try them? What court are they going to be brought forward in front of? That's what the person said, actually.
No, that's a good question, bro. Exactly. Well, once we take control of the system, this court system that exists today will be abolished 100%. Okay? So we're going to form the court per the Constitution where they get fair trials. We give them a fair trial. We bring them in. They can bring anybody they want to testify for them in their behalf. They can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and the people will decide what to do with it. We can have every single court hearing on public TV, okay? Nothing in secrecy ever again, okay? Just the truth out there, man. The people will make the right decision when they are informed with the true information. I got to have faith in humanity. I believe if we knew the truth about everything, if everybody out there knew the truth about everything, the right decisions would be getting made. We got to break down to one law, do no harm. We can't take away people's freedoms because, I don't feel it's right that somebody gets to do that,
Oh, okay, John. Okay, I'm getting bombarded. Okay, got another person here says, okay. Where are these court hearings going to be held and who decides who oversees these court hearings?
Nobody should be appointed to oversee and just be a judge, a lifetime judge. It's up to the people, As long as the person being tried, has no personal problem with the judge, and he agrees with that judge, we'll use this person as a judge. But the judge doesn't make any decisions in a real trial. It's up to the jury. Now, the jury is going to be a jury of their peers. You know what I mean? The people. And that's who they're going to have to deal with.
Well, I think this person is trying to clarify their question. How do you go about this selection process? How do you go about this actually, hang on, this person is communicating with me right now via email and instant message. Well, who's in charge? How do you oversee this? What type of oversight do you have? And this gets back to, I'll let you answer that, John, but hang on. This gets back to the prison system. There's no oversight of the prison system, and that's why I want to give a shout-out to Not Just Another Number. They were trying to start, and this has been tried in the state of Connecticut, actually. They tried to start a prison oversight committee.
Yeah, well, forget the prison oversight committee. That's just a make-believe thing. It's not even going to really happen. They just paid puppets to narrate a show, to put on a show for the people to make them think something's happening good that's not. But everything will be televised. Look, there's no reason for anybody to be arrested and spend more than a week before their trial is over. Okay? The decision should be made by then. Everything can be televised.
Okay, John. But John, the question is, who selects what's the selection process of these people that are going to be the judges and whatnot? You just said, well, if this person agrees with you, or how in my community? Let's just narrow it down here. Let's not look at a national level. Let's just take my community, Greensboro, North Carolina. I live in the city of Greensboro, North Carolina. And callers, be patient. We're going to get to you. Okay, be patient, please.
Okay.
You will be live.
I understand.
All right, we're in Greensboro, North Carolina. Hang on, John. We have a population of 50,000 people, let's just say, in Greensboro, North Carolina. 50,000 people. Some guy 2 city blocks away rapes a young woman, okay, and he's caught, all right? Or the young woman comes forth and reports this to the community and says, hey, this guy broke into my house at 3 o'clock in the morning and raped me. What's the process here? What do? We go and arrest this guy without any evidence? We have mob justice? We have, that's been tried before. What type of system are we formulating here?
Well, we would have to evaluate the evidence in a court of law, okay? But a court not ruled by a judge. You can't have a judge. The judge is to keep order in the courtroom if it gets out of hand. Do it down in the mouth and say, okay, everybody calm down, you speak, and just control the courtroom, not to be judging over the people in the courtroom, over the defendant in the courtroom. He's not there to judge that person. The jury is there as the judge. That's the way it was supposed to be, in the Constitution. That's the whole thing about a jury of your peers, and you're not to be fined more than $20 without a jury by trial.
Again, John, what's the selection process? How do we select this jury of the peers? We can't have 50,000 people sitting in one room because, or a stadium judging one individual. What's this process? How does this selection begin? Are you,
First
you know what I mean?
Is all hearings should be on a TV channel. And we have the ability to have 50,000 TV channels out there, which we already do have, no doubt, when different towns they all have a bunch of channels. Every hearing should be on a TV channel so the people hear and see everything. Nothing hidden, nothing in secrecy. And they'll know. They won't accept it. If the people see and hear the whole truth and not lawyers, that say, no, well, under the color of law, no, none of that's going to exist anymore. Facts, bring out the facts of the case. Let's see what the real deal is. And let the people make the decision. I believe we'll be a lot better off than we are now, without a doubt,
Okay, John.
without secrecy.
Okay, John. All right. I've got several other questions for you. Would you mind if I open up the phone lines here and let's take some other calls here real quick?
Please do.
All right, let's go with 912. They've been waiting a while here. 912, then a private caller, then I've got 328, 371, a bunch of them here. Guys, you got to be patient. And I know we're here basically to talk about the prison system across America here. And if you have a story you want to share, I'll give you just as much time as I gave John. And we want to analyze the criminal justice system here. And if you have someone you want me to call here live, we could do that. Let's open up the phone lines here. 912. Go ahead. 912, you're live. Unscreened, uncensored, on understanding the times in which we live in today. You heard the unmute button. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you guys doing tonight, first off?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. We're doing fine. Go ahead. What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, well, I think this is a really good conversation, my man. First of all, though, I don't like the judicial system a whole lot either, but I would say this, my man. It's like, okay, we got a judicial system. It's so easy to go to jail these days. You know that anybody can go to jail at any time for the smallest thing. And, when you throw people in cages over really small things, I think we get a big problem. That's how we get overcrowded prison systems, because anybody can get arrested and go to jail for the smallest thing. So what I believe in is the founders of the country, which was the government was supposed to be small. The government was supposed to be nothing but an entity that protected our rights, as American citizens. They were not supposed to be as big as they are now. Nowadays, the government they're in everything, my dude. They're in your land taxes. They're in your house. They're in your cars. They're in your health insurance. They're everywhere. They were not supposed to be that powerful. They were strictly supposed to be there just to protect our rights. But again, I like the question that you asked, though, Mr. Gibson. Like, what would that be, though, if we got rid of law enforcement, if we got rid of the judicial system, the judges? What would that look like? Because the police is supposed to be there to actually protect our rights. So that if somebody, infringes on our rights, and let's say somebody breaks into my house and I kill them because they came in my house with bad intent, nowadays I would actually still go to jail for that until I was proven to be in self-defense. That's a problem, right? Because I defended my house. So therefore, I'm pro-Second Amendment, and I do believe in the Constitution. I do believe government should have been very small. They should have just been there to protect our rights, because technically they work for us in real words. So we let them get way out of control. So nowadays what we're faced with is trying to come up with a solution of how we deal with this, because we let them get so out of hand. We let them get so powerful that now they're in everything. So how do you fight an entity that's backed by the U.S. military, my dude? And I never hear anybody talk about this. You have all these solutions, but you got to forget our government is backed by the U.S. military, my man. When the government says jump, they say how high, my dude. So what do you got for that? You know what I'm saying? We gotta,
I'll let John answer that, and then we'll continue on with the phone calls, and then I'll make a comment. John, go ahead, respond to this caller. And you can remain on the line here to converse here as long as you want to. Go ahead, John.
Okay, it's very simple, man. Everybody's misconstrued it. The government is not there to protect your rights. The Second Amendment and the Bill of Rights, for us to exercise our rights, to protect our rights. That's what's there, for us to protect our rights. Government is inherently going to be trying to take them away. That's why we have the Bill of Rights, the First and Second Amendment, to correct course of government. When you depend on the government to protect your rights, you just gave them all up. That's what they're teaching, and it's not really what it was supposed to be. It's our responsibility to protect our rights.
So what about the U.S. military? They protect the government.
Now, the government was formed. Okay, very good. The government was formed. The United States government was formed for one purpose and one purpose alone, to be honest with you, and that was to have a united military. That's why our president is commander-in-chief of the military. That's what he was voted into office for originally. That's why they formed the government. Not to control the people, not to govern the people, but to oversee a united military to defend this country. That's the only reason we ever formed the United States, to have a large enough military not to be attacked. Okay? Now, the House, Congress was put in place to keep the president in check, not to abuse authority over the military. But now, if we form the militia, that takes away the power from the government to control the militia, and to control the military, which reverts the military back to the control of the people, because we don't he's abusing it. When the militia stands up, like say we stand up 2020, it's November 2nd, the people stand up.
You're going to go to war with the U.S. military, my man?
No, you don't understand. The military is to back us, to follow our orders. They're no longer obligated to follow the orders of the president.
They follow government orders.
But they're not supposed to. Once
all right, well, hang on a second here, John. Hang on, real quick. Two gentlemen there. Hang on. First of all, to answer the gentleman's question.
Let me say something.
Hang on.
Let me finish this.
Hang on. Let me interject here.
I know what he's thinking.
Hang on. All right, hang on. While you're gaining your thoughts here, let me answer the gentleman's question here as to what was the government's sole purpose anyway. Even though John may disagree with me, the purpose of our federal government, basically, sir. The purpose of our federal government is, as found in the preamble of the Constitution, is to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. That is the sole purpose of the federal government.
Right.
Go ahead, John.
No. You see, that's where you guys misunderstand. You haven't read the original Constitution. Yes, that's the purpose of forming the Constitution, forming the federal government. But the government's job is to defend the country against enemy attack. It's not their job to take care of the people. It never was.
For our freedom.
I never said that. I never said that, John. And this Constitution that you're talking about, John, that you've been referring to a lot, and when you do your watch parties and everything, what is this are you confused? Now, I've said this many times on my show, the two constitutions. There's two constitutions. There's an organic constitution, and then you have the corporate constitution. What constitution are you referring to, John?
I'm talking about the original one, the one that I can't find anymore. The one that I read.
Well, John, that don't help us too much, right?
You said the Constitution is there for the government to protect us from enemy invaders, but they do that to protect our freedoms, my man. That's what we're saying. The Constitution was there to protect our freedoms, so the government can protect us from enemy invaders. That's what it's for.
Enemy combatants on our soil.
Yeah, that
is
come to
what
take our
the
freedom.
government
That's
was
what
designed for.
Yeah.
Okay. We have never been attacked. Okay.
That's because we have a government in place that protects us from that.
No, not because we have a government. Our government is attacking us. Our government is attacking us everywhere.
But the corrupt government officials are attacking us, not the government. Corrupt people are. It's not the government. It's corrupt government officials, not all the government. The military is there to protect us. They're funded by the government and by us.
So, John, there's three factors. Hang on, John. But the Charters of Freedom, John, there's three documents known collectively as the Charters of Freedom that have secured the rights of the American people for more than 250 years, okay? They're considered instrumental into the founding and philosophy of the United States. One of them is the Bill of Rights, like you always refer to, the Constitution itself, and the Declaration of Independence that you always refer to. So, therefore, that's what I was trying to get at. There's three charters here to the Constitution. Now, I don't know what you're talking about, John, about this Constitution that nobody can find or read. I don't know. I've been trying to get to you on that and figure out where I could find this Constitution that you can't find even yourself. So I don't even know if we should be addressing that, because you talk about the Bible saying, hey, men wrote that thing, and it's not true.
Okay.
Men wrote that Constitution you're talking about, and I can't even find a copy of it. Can you?
Okay, I'll accept all credit for it then if you want. I don't care. If you want to say I'm the author of this new Constitution, let's make it a new one. Government has no authority over the people. Okay? Government has no authority at all over the people.
we agree with that.
Government has authority over the military.
We agree with that, John. The government does not have authority. Yeah, that's right. Both of us do agree with that, yes.
But they protect our rights, brother, from foreign enemies. They protect our rights from domestic enemies. That's what they do. That's what they're here for. We let them get out of control, That's our problem.
The only domestic enemy I have, the only domestic enemy I see in this country is my government. There is no other domestic enemy.
Have you ever been to the hood
in
America,
because, John, you have a United States.
That's
because, John, hang on, sir. That's because you have a United States military that's protecting you from China coming over here and seizing this country and taking it from you, or any other invader. You know, you have a government that's overseeing that military.
Yes, sir.
By the way, dude, I grew up basically in the hood. Okay, I got no problem with it.
So you understand you have domestic enemies then, right? Who's there to protect you?
No, I don't. I got along with all the people great. It was the cops that everybody ran from and was afraid of.
Now you're just lying, my man. Come on, man.
Okay, all right. That's fine, John. That's fine. All right, guys.
I got along with people just fine.
All right, guys. Let's consider that thought here. They have a disagreement. They're having a disagreement.
No,
that's fine.
Let me explain something to you.
This is a good conversation, my man. I like it.
All right, John, go ahead. Hang on. We can't yell over each other. We've got to have some sort of moderation here. So, John, go ahead. Explain it real quick, and then we'll continue on with the phone calls. Go ahead.
Even to this day, when I go somewhere, I like to go to the low places in the world. I like to go where there, bars that are either a biker or just low-life bars, things like that, where people are natural and normal. Because you know what? I'm not afraid of the people. It's the police I'm afraid of. I know their power.
Okay.
I know what they can do. But I defend myself against anybody except the badge. You cannot defend against the badge. That is
but
a
some
terrorist
people would
organization.
disagree with you, John. They would say that's abnormal. So what do you do with those people? You know what I mean? You see, that's you, John, and that's
I'm
great.
saying that
and
I've been shot at now,
and the government gives you that right.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been shot at too, man. I've been
Right,
shot
so
at
you
too.
have
I've had
enemies
guns put in my
right?
face.
Okay, all right. Let's
I've had
not
guns
carry
put in my
off.
face 20 times in my life.
Yeah, okay,
You
but
know,
let's stick to the topic.
It's the way
Let's
it
stick
is.
to the topic. Let's stick to a generalization way of explaining things. We could talk about I, but we're talking here to a national, worldwide audience, so they don't want to hear about your personal experience. We're here trying to address how we're going to fix these problems today.
The point is, when you were shot at, were the cops there protecting you, or were you shot at?
Nope.
Exactly.
They wasn't there.
They're not here to protect us.
When you call the police, there's actually a time you have to wait for them to get there.
Yeah, we're getting
off
topic here.
My bad about that. My bad about that. Yeah,
all right.
No, it's all good, man. I like the subject we're talking about.
That's fine. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's continue carrying on here. Private caller, go ahead. Then 323, you're next. Go ahead, private caller.
Honorable High Chief Brother Joe Gibson and your guests and everybody, I pray I can say what I have to say. Number one, the Declaration of Independence is the first law of which all the others are predicated. I keep asking, please read it. It says, we the people are the government by way of saying the consent of the governed. Now, you all keep talking about the Constitution. Each state has theirs, even though they weren't supposed to, because after that we have the Constitution of the United States of America, which you started talking about, and then when you mentioned number 2 about the guns, they are tricking us. They're doing organ harvesting. The bullets have all had lead in it. That's what the police, firemen, there's lead in all the waters across the nation of the fire hydrants, which goes into our homes, that same water. Add that to the fact.
All right, Angel Lady Love, though. Hang on, I'm going to let you speak, Angel Lady Love. But
hear you all talk.
But hang on, I'm going to let you speak, Angel Lady Love, but we can't address organ harvesting tonight and all the 1,000 million other subjects. I want to give you 5. I want to give you Angel Lady Love. Hang on, please. I'm going to say 5 minutes to talk about whatever you want, because I know you got a lot to say. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm going to stay on target as I keep trying. The Declaration of Independence, you're calling our employees the government. We, the people, are the government. They use my tenets to come up with the very laws, especially of the Declaration of Independence. I keep giving you unalienable. Please look it up. That means no one can take it away, can't be given away, cannot be separated. Now, you all don't want to do your homework, and you sound like buffoons. No offense. I'm saying this nice and gentle. But I'm suffering. And now all of California is suffering, and I tried to warn them. But let me go back to the document. We are people of the law. I know you all want to think everything happened here was done by Caucasoids. But more emphatically, the key here is that not only with the Declaration of Independence, you have the Constitution. The top 10 amendments are called the Bill of Rights. That's the Bill of Rights, the top 10 amendments. Then you spoke of the 13th Amendment, and someone needs to read to me the 14th. But what had happened when you go to the original, these degenerates, after it was already ratified, they changed it. And that I can be corrected, but I think that's where it talks about slavery and one can be incarcerated. Slavery, incarceration is in violation. My highest commander nearly 2,000 years ago read from what we call now
Angel Lady Love, I lost you. We lost you for a minute there.
I'm trying to tell you that from Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1. Please read it. It says the doors of the prisons are supposed to be open. We didn't have prisons until in this country, okay? Until the illegal, undocumented European invaders came to my shores, bringing their indentured Caucasoid slaves who were thieves, liars, and murderers, And the bottom line is we never put anybody in a prison. That's due to the fact that they're used to being in a zoo, a logical garden, which was the Garden of Eden, and from the ape. And then I can talk about Canaan. Curse be Canaan. What happened?
The first prison was built in. Hang on, Angel Lady Love. The first prison was Newgate Prison in New York. It was in Angel Lady Love.
A lot of you don't understand. Listen,
for the love of
get
God.
the Bible, Daniel chapter 13. You will not find that in the old King James. Please get the Catholic Bible and read Daniel 13. That has happened to me, and it's happening to men right now. Add that to the family. Pay attention. One of the elders is a
at this point, you're just babbling off things you've read in books.
I know. Man, Angel Lady Love, can you stick to a particular subject, please?
The juries, the people are on the jury because they registered to vote. They don't want to come to be on a jury. And they have to find money to get to there, and then they're nuked once they get in there. They use the very, what they call, security.
What do you mean
that's
new?
what I'm trying to tell you. Security panels. That's
Give more
radiation,
details, please.
The security panels. That's why the sheriff in Philadelphia at the top of this year got $20 million. He had lawyers who chose to lie. He was on the elevator in the prison, what we call the it's the prison. It is the court system. But at any rate, when the person comes to go on a jury, they get either they'll use that you've gone into City Hall over or places. And
I'm going to connect you to that.
The bottom line, all that radiation goes into the person. The only natural radiation comes from the sun and earth. This is paralyzing people. And when they go into the jury courtroom, they're told when to stand up and when to sit down. The jurors.
So what's your answer?
Pennsylvania.
So what's the point here? What's the point here? What's the answer?
If you let me talk.
No, you're babbling.
But we don't have 3 days, Angel Lady Love. We don't. I gave you 5 minutes. I want you to analyze. Look, Angel Lady Love. The point I've been thinking about this a lot. Hang on. Oh Lord. All right, I will let you finish, but. Oh, for God's sake. Listen, Angel Lady Love, what I'm trying to do is, Angel Lady Love, hang on 1 second, please.
Oh, my God.
What I'm trying to do is, like I said at the beginning of the show.
Back there.
Oh, Lord. Please, let me interject here for a second. Please.
Yeah, you
what I'm trying to do is,
the Declaration of Independence.
Okay, all right.
All I'm begging you, please.
Okay, Angel Lady Love, go ahead, talk. 2 hours straight, and we'll have 1 listener left. Go ahead.
Paralyzing the children. It causes sugar diabetes. Laugh. I have the document.
Now we're talking about sugar diabetes.
Sugar diabetes. I have all the facts about that.
So who told you the answer for it?
And I just
what does that have to do with the mass incarceration in America, Angel Lady Love? What does that have to do with the mass incarceration in America? Sugar diabetes.
Well, first of all, the mass incarceration has to do with the degenerated lepers. That's Leviticus 13. Degenerated, don't get me started, caucasoids that are from the ape. You did not evolve.
What's a caucasoid? What's a caucasoid? Can you explain what a caucasoid is?
With both sexes. You do not have, you're born with cancer. You do not have melanin in your melanocytes, the largest organ of your body.
I agree, Jessica. Jessica in the chat room, you're absolutely correct.
You are born with cancer.
All right, Angel Lady Love. All right, muted. Okay, I tried.
All I got to say is she just needs to speak slower. She just needs to speak slower. She's trying to push it out too hard.
And stick to one issue, John, at a time.
She says a lot of good things, though. She's right about the Declaration of Independence. She's right about the fact that there were no prisons here prior to the taking over of this country by the colonists. You know, she's right about a lot of things.
So we don't need prisons?
What I was trying to say, John, is actually Walnut Street Prison, established in 1773 was actually the very first prison in America. It was soon followed by Newgate Prison in New York in 1797, actually. So,
okay, but do you understand what you were saying? The Christopher Columbus came here what? No, but Christopher Columbus came to this country in 1400s, in 14 something. I forget what it was, but there was never prisons in this country until after the colonists came here. She was right.
So why did prison start?
Okay, yeah, I know. All right, John. All right, now where's Angel Lady Love? Let me connect her back now. Angel Lady Love. Can we talk about mass incarceration here in America and the Constitution and how we're going to fix it? That's really what I want to stick to here. So, Angel Lady Love, and then I'm going to connect more callers. Callers, you got to be patient now. I know the yelling over each other has to stop. Angel Lady Love, I gave you 5 minutes, and then you started talking over me. Now, if you need 3 more minutes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 3 more minutes to go ahead and speak. Hopefully, you could educate the people here, like John was saying. You had a lot of good points to talk about. Hopefully, you could educate them and talk to them in a reasonable manner where we're not yelling over each other. Angel Lady Love, go ahead. Floor is yours. Then Mandela.
I'm going to try. If you don't talk over me, please humbly. The way the system is done now, because of the Caucasoids, their inferiority complexes. Just as recent as less than a month ago, a young man was put out of prison that had been there for 27 years. He had even told them in when he was tried that he wasn't even anywhere near, but they still put him in jail. Another guy just the other year in prison for 40 years. He didn't do it. And then another young man in Philadelphia. All of these are Philadelphia. I'm not even talking about the others that I know about. 40 years since a child in solitary confinement. Okay? I gave you Daniel chapter 13. You have to find that in a Catholic Bible. Because the King James Version only goes up to Daniel chapter 12. And it only has 66 books. The Catholic Bible has 72 books. But moreover, this was that many years ago. Now, he just mentioned, what did he just mention about the degenerates that came to my country? The bottom line, Christopher Columbus never set foot in what later became the United States of America. Christopher Columbus, his parents were born in Spain. They had to leave because of the Inquisition. They were blessed to be able to get out of there, because if they wouldn't become Catholic, they would have been murdered by Queen Isabella and Ferdinand. Add that to the fact, when he and his brothers got together and they wanted to travel, he had his reasons wanting to go back to Spain and have this woman and man give them money. And when he traveled, remember, he was looking for the country East India. The bottom line here is where he landed and wound up being where all those Caribbean islands, what did they call it, Hispaniola, which is Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, which right now is overtaken by the drug cartel of the Mexican drug cartel. They were abominable to those people. They were raping the children and all of that. When Queen Isabella, after he had brought her some victuals back and even human beings, she got wind of what he was doing there and his people. She had one of his brothers and he, Christopher Columbus, be returned back in the dungeon of the ship, and then she threw him in the dungeon in Spain. And
so Christopher Columbus, all right, Angel Lady Love, so Christopher Columbus never came to America, is that what you're saying?
Not to what later became the United States of America. That's why right now California, who is one of the states that listens to me, is calling it Indigenous
I don't care about
Day.
California. Did Christopher Columbus ever sail to America? Are you saying that he never sailed to America? Is that what you're saying?
Later became the United States of America. He never stepped foot on here. The Italians even called him
so he never stepped foot on the United States of America. Okay.
He was abominable, just like the conquistadors.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't the United States of America until 1776, actually. So, so you're correct. Yeah, but he did come to the continent of the Americas, right? Did Christopher Columbus come?
He did not come. You're now talking about the Canaanite conquistadors.
No, Lord.
You're talking about everything
now,
with Americans, and this is trouble.
I'm trying to tell you, just
about?
like listen, I can tell you, they eat babies, they eat people, those degenerates rape babies. Yes, girls are born with the number of babies they have. They are abominable when they went to Mexico.
All right, Angel Lady Love. All right, so anyway, Angel Lady Love, back on topic. 2019 here, we have 2.2 million. Hang on. Angel Lady Love, we have 2.2 million Americans or people incarcerated in America. What can we do to fix this problem? Do you have an answer for that?
Open the doors. Just like my highest commander said in Isaiah 61, he repeated that the jail shells, that's inhumane. What we would do is exile a person. Just like Sarai exiled Hagar after she got jealous of her having a baby, even though she told her to have the baby for Abraham. The bottom line, we exile people. We do not put them behind bars.
Where are you going to exile them at?
That were born in the Garden of Eden.
So
and
Angel
a
Lady Love.
zoological
All right.
garden.
Okay, so we exile. You answered the question. All right, thank you. You answered that question. We exile them. Well, so let's just say you're in Philadelphia. Your next door neighbor kills his wife. So he gets exiled to where? Let's just say hypothetically. Let's use a hypothetically. Your next door neighbor kills his wife, and in John's world, he's tried by his peers. He's found guilty of this murder. Where does he go?
Well, let me tell you about my world. There's 613 Mosaic laws. I say 614 universal laws, same laws. Number 5 says, thou shalt not kill. The best kind of war is no war. If we were living righteous and all these degenerates weren't messing up our food,
I know, but that wasn't the question, Angel Lady Love. That wasn't the question.
Yeah,
I know, but if lightning struck the earth and split it in half, and one section went to Mars and one went to the sun.
Anybody until they get the doctors in the medical doctors are the main murderers across this whole world.
You got more.
I've given you a hypothetical question because people want to know.
Angel,
here we go, right back to square one.
May I answer the question, please?
Melanin-rich womb man. I know about.
Let John answer that question. Hang on, Angel Lady Love. Let John. Angel Lady Love. Let John answer that question. John, if your next door neighbor murders his wife and your peers of your community there, like you're talking about, we don't have any more we have no more government, no more police. We just have everyone live and let live, and they have access to. There's no more bartering system. This individual kills his wife next door to you, and he's found guilty by his peers. She said we exile him. We don't put him in prison. What's your answer, John?
I think once they're found guilty in a court of law, the victims decide the punishment. The actual loved ones that are left behind, the actual victims, should decide what the punishment should be. Mm-hmm. And that way the victims feel they were properly
exonerated.
They were properly, given justice as to the best of their ability. That's what I believe. I don't believe anybody should decide for them in a situation like that. That's my opinion, though.
That's an honest answer. That's an honest answer, John. That's good. I'm glad I got an answer there. Very good. I finally got it. But Angel Lady Love said they should be exiled. I didn't get an answer where they should be exiled to. So, Angel Lady Love, remain on the line here. Let's not yell over each other. That's all I'm asking, okay?
Well, stop talking over me.
All right, but Angel Lady Love, but if I let you go on, you could take up the whole entire show, and I'll have one caller left. So just hang on, okay? All right, just hang on, please. 323. Go ahead.
How you doing, my brothers? Man, brother, you let this woman go for like 12 minutes, man. I wanted to get a gun and blow my head off, man. Jeez. Wow, man.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yo, man, you were supposed to only let her have 5 minutes, man. He let her have like 12, 13 minutes, but yeah.
All right, it happened. So, but go ahead, sir. What's on your mind here tonight?
Yeah, the prison incarceration stuff, man. It should be now and void, man. Nobody should be in prison, man. How they deal with people back in the days, man. I wish those days were back. You know what I'm saying? If a person killed a person, we hang them. You know what I'm saying? Right there in noon. You know?
Oh my God.
Back like the cowboy stuff. You know?
Oh man.
I think that should be.
All right. Well, but that's fine. But that's not going to happen, sir. That's not going to happen. But okay. So you believe in the wild, wild west type of days, where they hung people and without any trial. If you went into a saloon and have gunfights. So you believe in the old days, the Western days, where everyone killed or be killed, basically, right?
Kind of like that, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like instead, having the court system decide, but it would actually make people stop doing crimes because they would see that and they would get terrified.
All right. Very good. Okay, sir. Well, let's open up the phone line. John, do you got anything you want to add further to this? And I'm going to open up the phone line to Mr. Mendelicon. Go ahead, John.
Don't be hard on Lady Love. She just got so much things in her head that she keeps jumping the subject. But a lot of the stuff she's talking about is very true and very right. So don't be hard on her. She just jumps subject a lot.
Well, she won't answer any questions.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, she won't answer any questions. That's true. We're trying to have a dialogue here. We're trying to have a dialogue here. So,
but she's right about a lot of things.
Let's bring Mendelicon on. Let's see how much more yelling over each other we can get. Let's see if Mendelicon wants to add here to the confusion and the madness. Go ahead, Mr. Mendelicon. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh, that's what y'all got to say. That's not my itinerary. My itinerary is to understand the times we live in today. And it's extraordinary that we got the Lone Ranger and Tano, Joe, Jai, and then Pocahontas, Angel Eagle Love. It's also because that we got Batman and Robin, Joe and John.
Yeah, no, what about me, man?
However, that has nothing to do with what y'all forgot that I'm going to help you remember in one sentence. Today, as devils and angels dance, how good it is, you older people have your costume on of Hollywood, and in a few days from now, you're hollering tricks, trick or treat, but you're all tricks. I'm going to be your fucking treat. Now,
all right, let's watch the language here. I'm not going to do what Chewbacca did the other night. I'm not going to do that.
That's a beautiful
thing. Foul language. Okay?
Well, that's a beautiful thing. Well, here's what I want to say to you, Batman. There will be no more bitches mentioned on this program or niggers, right?
That's
there
right.
Will be no more cuss words. And anybody that use those language, bitches, John, or niggers, John, you're null and void, and whatever you try to put on the table, you have to be dismissed because you're exposed right now.
You know what, Mendelicon? I'll agree with you. Let's set up that rule right now. Anyone who uses anyone who uses foul language, we'll just mute them right away, unless they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I slipped," because everyone makes mistakes. But if they continually to use foul language or the N-word, they'll be muted for the night. How's that sound? Okay, Mendelicon, now carry on. What's on your mind here tonight?
That's why I always talk about your fan club or your clan club under the Confederate flag in the red, white, and blue of Tyrone Pinocchio Thompson, and his segments are listening to. So let me get to the second day. In a few days from now, all of you people, black and white, many of you, will have a drumstick in your hand and your cranberry sauce is running out of your ass. Now, ass is in the Bible, so don't say I said a cuss word because I didn't.
All right.
Okay? In a few days after that, you'll be talking about Christmas, the merry mess, and talking about Christ, and Christ and Santa Claus has nothing to do with each other. One is a lie, the other is supposedly the truth. And then a few days after that, you'll be talking about a new day with the same old genocide, atrocities, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and such, and what have you. So I'm not here to bring live and let live in one love and peace. I'm here to bring chaos, confusion, mischief, and mayhem, and war. Because This is the sign of the times in which we live. This is the way you elders want it. Our children come out their mother's womb perfect and intact. And it is only when they come into the society, the first the church, the mosque, the synagogue, then the so-called school system, and then all the other so-called connected
What about
governmental...
mass incarceration? I've done this to every caller now.
That's what I'm getting to. 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 When you look at mental slavery, mental mind control, the people are submitting to tyrants. And we don't have employees, we have war criminals. That's why when John brought up something November 2nd, y'all know that's a precursor to what you've been told 3 years, Joe Gibson, 7 years, Tyrone Pinocchio Thompson, about the total recall of class action 567. And yet, y'all want to quibble while we're involved and do a paralysis of analysis. They, look, what he's talking about, we don't know what he's talking about. Well, he's just saying a whole bunch of stuff. But y'all have already added into the preamble of overturning a rotten, filthy social system. Because if you look at this system, the war on drugs has put the 2.5 million people in there. And if you look at the percentages of the people who are in the local, county, city, state, and federal with the institutions that they call prisons, when they're nothing but concentration camps, gulags, and rostogs, you'll see that the war on drugs reverse the sovereignty, and integrity, and dignity, independence, and the due process as it relates to law, based on control and non-control, legal and illegal. Now, legal and illegal, control and non-control, it comes under controlled substances, pharmaceuticals, drugs, doctors behind the doors, or doctors on the corner. That's where most of your conservation is. And then when it comes to this thing called lovable government, we the people, by the people, for the people, of the people, we are submitting our birthrights to these tyrants because the local police force cannot move without the legislature. It's the legislature, not the police, black or white, that's unleashing this terror on the people, just as it is the legislature that unleashes the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines across the people of the planet in the African and darker peoples of the world. Since Hitler died, there's never been an invasion trespassing on the sovereignty, the integrity, and dignity of the Constitution, Declaration of Independence of any of these sovereign nations. The only nation that has trespassed on their Constitution, Declaration of Independence, not China, not Russia, not Iran, not North Korea, not Venezuela, not Cuba. But if you go back in the last 50 years, you'll see that the eagle is violating natural law under the Creator. It is the eagle that is violating international law as it relates to control.
Okay, John, before I let you carry on here, you represent the Ethiopian Empire, and just to quote Ethiopia here, actually there's in Ethiopia there are 127 prisons, and the prison population is 113,727. Would you like to make a comment on that?
Yes. On your selective amnesia, most of you black or white people, I dare you to look up your history, and I'll help you. That before the naming of the United States of America and the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean, this is West Africa, Ethiopia. The continent of Ethiopia, Ababa in Africa, that is not Ethiopia. That's just the creation. That's the central point. Yes.
Addis, Ethiopia, and Ababa, yes. Actually, in Burhan and Melka, actually are head of the is where the main prison administration is. All I'm asking is a question here, because other countries in prison, hang on, all other countries have prisoners also, and the prison conditions in Ethiopia are 72% below human standards, actually, and human living. Actually, prisoners are only given one meal a day there. Do you want to make a comment on that since you represent Ethiopia?
Yes, sir. Just as you represent Adam and Steve and Mary and Eve,
that's not what I asked.
In the Bible, Torah, Quran, or Hebrew Israelite, Moor, Muslim, or Christian, you and your cohorts want to set the standard on what's a drug war, what's a prison,
what's
who's a criminal,
got
who's a
to do with
terrorist.
the question
But who's
I
a
just
terrorist?
asked?
But on who's a terrorist? On a terrorist. On who's a terrorist? And under your Ku Klux Klanism, you don't know a bad man or a warlock or a warlord
the thing that
or
really
a bad nation.
upsets me about Ethiopia. Hang on, Mandela.
It shouldn't upset you. It don't upset you.
All right.
It don't
We're not
upset
getting
you,
anywhere. Mandela won't answer
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You cut into my 1 minute now. I got 1 minute left now. I want to put it on the table.
5 minutes.
All right,
everybody.
take 1 minute, then I'll bring John on. I'll bring John on after 1 minute. Go ahead, because I'm not getting
Okay, here's what I know about John. Since John and you allowed it last week, that he didn't want to hear what I got to say, just like you, but he wanted to tell me this is what he definitely wants. You and John do not have the credentials to vet, question, or interrogate me as it relates to the matriarch. Y'all are Masonic patriarchs.
Who does?
So why
okay,
can you hear
that's first and foremost. And secondly, John, I want to say this to you quickly. Do you know that what you're authorizing, my people ain't going out with you with no fucking guns to surround no local county shit.
You just violated your own rule. You're muted. You just violated your own rule. You're muted.
Okay.
He did it. Now I'm going to bring him back on. If he apologizes, I'll let him come back on because he violated his own rule. Okay, Mandela Khan, you're back on. Go ahead. You got to apologize for that?
Okay. I'll take the word F, the F word. But the ninja, don't never let me hear nobody say the original N-word that you and John and everybody like to say, okay? Now,
I never used the N-word. I never used it.
Let me put it this, but your clan club and fan club uses it constantly, and
yes,
you allow
it.
Now,
yes, they have.
Okay,
yes,
now,
they have.
Okay, now let me put it in this perspective. Let me put it in this perspective. Now, that 1 minute, without this illegal alien violating my space for 1 minute.
Wow. All right, 1 minute, Mandela. Go ahead. Don't anybody interrupt them. Give them 1 minute. Go ahead.
You and Tyrone, 7 years, know about the total recall of class action files. Even Angel Eagle, she spoke to my law firm. She spoke to the secure party, Charles W. Isley, but she won't tell you that because she's talking about her law. But here's why I got John. How dare John steal the Ethiopian total recall of the Pan-African Intelligence Network class action project that what you and Tyrone know about, that I told you that only the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers can authorize a shutdown to get the proper administration authority as we overturn the rotten system. Not me, not no John, but here's what John has lost. And I hope he's successful, whoever he's trying to work with. I really do. But here's why I know he's not going to be. Because first of all, he says during a selection year, the 4 year of the local, county, city, state, and federal jurisdiction of the people, in their mental illness, they're trying to see who they're going to put in office. Get a good black one in and a bad white one out. That's a selection year, 2020, November 2nd. And then when you look at the mindset of the people trying to vote some tyrants back in the office rather than arrest their ass, they're all guilty of perjury, sedition, insubordination, treason. John is trying to tell you that we're going to do this on November 2nd. But can you look at the wintertime? People mobilize in the June, July, August, and September. That's when you can get the massive numbers. That's when you can get the multiple people, the multitude to come out. That's what class action
said. Mandela Khan, I gave you 1 minute. Mandela Khan, now let John reply.
I got 15 seconds. I got 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
All right, 15 seconds.
So for John, I told you this is a bloodless revolution. We don't even want the government to even think that we'll attack your ass. Ain't nobody got to tell nobody what to do. If we the people, by the people, for the people are the government, and the government's not the people, we're going unarmed. And ain't nobody going to have to tell you what to do. So it ain't got to be, because this guy is trying to lead y'all to a revolutionary suicide and pain and the Ethiopian empire of the red, black, and green on November 2nd. We won't be there. I don't know if Uncle Sam or Uncle Gus will be there, but we won't be there.
All right, John, would you like to reply to me? All right, now let John reply, and then I'll allow my other friend there to reply also. Go ahead, John. You get the floor here. Go ahead, because we're way off topic as usual. Go ahead, John.
Okay, prison systems. Let's go back on topic. You say Ethiopia has 160,000 imprisoned inmates right now. But they also
113. Well, hang on, John. 113,727 actually, as of 2015. That's the last reported number.
Okay. That percentage, their population is less, just about, almost exactly half of the population of the United States of America.
89 million is the population. 89 million.
89 million? And they only have 100,000 incarcerated? And they only have 100,000 incarcerated. Now, America has 300. No, it's not 89 million. It's 162. I just Googled it. It's 162.
No, the national population of Ethiopia from March 2014, according to the United Nations, is 89 million, okay?
Well, it told me it's 160 million, but it's irrelevant. The point is they only have 100,000 people incarcerated, where the United States has, what, population is
2.2 million. 2.2 million.
100 million, okay?
Yep.
100 million. And we got
2.2 million. 2.2 million.
No, population of the United States is 200 million, isn't it?
No, the population of the United States is 323 million. 323 million, and the prison population is 2.2
You're right. I'm adding decimals. You're right. I'm adding decimals. But we got 2 million people incarcerated here, not to mention the ones that are on probation and on parole, which is a lot more. But the point, and, and I don't even know if they're counting in the children that are in these child prisons, okay? I don't even know
these
if
are rough estimates, John. These are rough estimates, so I agree with you. That a lot of these numbers are not really accurate.
So is what I'm saying. The point is, percentage per population, Ethiopia has nothing compared to what we have incarcerated. Percentage per population. That was the only point I was trying to make. Nobody else in the world has what we have, to be honest with you. We are almost like in a class by ourselves. You could take all the populated around the world that are in prison, and we by ourselves make up that number, almost. Okay,
that's very true, John. And that was my point, John. That was my point.
Right.
Yes. So I'm glad you agree with me on that.
Now, as far as prisons coming to be, well, prisons came to be after civilization came to be, because there was really no crime until there were laws that criminalized people for nothing.
Very
and
true.
That's when the system came into be that, hey, obey. It's what it is today. You obey. That's it. You obey or you will be subject.
Civilization happened way before prisons. So civilization was here before y'all came and set up your Ponzi scheme. So don't say civilization didn't start until prisons came, because we had a civilization before you arrived to the shores of the Holy Land.
I didn't clarify that. I'm sorry. Civilization is far from civilized. The modern civilization, when people think it's civilized, is far from it. It's the exact opposite of civilized. Humans right now are living in an uncivilized environment because they brought civilization in. It's not really civilized at all. That's what I meant to say, if you understand. I should have clarified. Yeah, I should have clarified. You're 100% right, McGillicuddy, on that. We are not acting like a civilized people at all, and that's what we need to do. We need to start acting civilized, but we don't have the option because we don't have control. And until the people have control, which back to Lady Love, the government gets its consent from the people. The people have to consent, and we do not consent at this point. And our military will never attack its own country. Back to the other guy's argument, worried about we're going to have to fight the military. The military will never bomb the United States, will never come in and kill American citizens. The United States military will not do that. You can't order the people of the United States military to come to America and start shooting their mothers, their children, their wives, their husbands, because if they're shooting at Americans, that's what they're shooting at, their own family members. They will support them. That's why we have UN troops on the ground by our government, which is a complete violation of the Constitution to allow foreign troops on on our property. That's the president's main goal, is to make sure we don't have foreign troops here, but they're bringing them in because they're the terrorist organization. I mean, it's not too difficult once you start understanding what's going on. The militarized police, that is the standing army that was forbidden the government to form a standing army in this country. The military was sanctioned to protect the country, but a standing army on the people was forbidden in the Constitution. This is the original Constitution. You know, okay, go ahead. I'm not going to take up a lot of airtime just going on about this.
I want to build with John right where he is right there because he's correct on this statement. Because I heard the other gentleman talking about, well, what are we going to do about our military? Our military is going to stand down. They're going to stand down because of the international law that every other nation know that the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines is trespassing on their holy lands. And if they bear witness to the Posse Comitatus Act not being enforced, that means that the sheriff, the local, county, city, state, and state legislature and the protectors of the people, they have to switch. They have to switch immediately. In other words, we don't have to worry about the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines because they're here with the CIA to support the outside interests. The FBI and everybody down is here to support the inside interests. Now, here's where we, the people, by the people with superior numbers come in, and why I do endorse November 2nd that John is putting forth, and I do hope it's successful. Because if it is, then Class Action 567 automatically kicks in because who's going to be the proper administration and authority to oversee the tyrants? Because they will be found guilty and put in jail, life without prison, without a possibility of parole, black or white. If you're caught, when the people come, everybody's already been declared guilty. Ain't no more trials. Ain't no more adjudication. You've done what you've done. You taxed us without representation. You divided us up into certain tribes and certain races, and the government is the enemy of all life on the planet. That's what we can prove. So we know that the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines won't attack the people because the National Guard and the sheriff will definitely, once the cumulative numbers get there, they will definitely honor that sworn oath because ain't nobody going to escape.
Hey, Mr. Gibson, can I say something about this?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I hear a bunch of, theories and a bunch of ideas and all these things, but I don't hear anybody asking, like, the real – I mean, you asked a few real questions, but I don't hear anybody answering these things. So back to your topic, so what happens, with the judicial system and the prison system and all these things? So let's say we go with everybody else on the panels out there, right? Let's say that we get rid of law enforcement, we get rid of government, bro, all the judicial system, all these things, right? So therefore, who's going to be the appointed leader of the people? And so when we establish that, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want to answer that question because if I feel like I'm the leader of the people in my city and John feels like he's the leader of the people in his city and Mandela Khan feels like he's the leader of the people in his country or city, whatever it is, it's going to cause war amongst self, right? So therefore, we're all just going to be
absolutely
at war regardless.
Not. Young man, take a deep breath.
So what happens is, bro, like, who's going to govern all this? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to keep peace? You know what I'm saying, dude? And another question is, bro, like, another question is, my dude. Okay, let's say that we go with Mandela Khan, or we go with the lady that was on the phone. They use words like caucasoid, and they use words like white folk and all this stuff. So let's say that we appoint them as leaders of the people, though, right? Come on, man. Like, let's just be real about this situation, my dude. They're very racist people. You know what I'm saying? They have their own ideological, standpoints or whatever. I respect it, but let's just say that. As America is one of the most diverse countries in the entire world, you know what I'm saying? We're like a melting pot. We have all type of different peoples here from everywhere. So let's say that we elect people that don't like other certain people from whatever their color is, all these things. We're going to have the same system that we got right now. It's just going to be another face that runs it, though. So let's say that the color of the skin might be different. Sure, now these folks have power, but they're going to do the same exact thing that they saying that the system we have now is doing to everybody else. You dig? So what is the difference between them except for skin color? So my point is, you dig, like, how are we going to regulate this? You know what I'm saying? How are we going to find leaders to lead the people, though? And like I said, if I feel like I'm the leader or Mr. Gibson feels like he's a leader, it's going to cause war amongst self. Therefore, the country is going to crumble. It's going to burn to ash. It's going to turn to anarchy, my dude. So I don't understand, like, I don't understand, but like, where are y'all going with this, my dude? You guys don't answer good questions. You dig what I'm saying? Like, if Mr. Gibson asked you a question about the prison system in Ethiopia, but you wouldn't answer the question, my dude. But I would say, even if Ethiopia has a lower prison population than America does, but America's population is, even if it's lower or higher than Ethiopia's, the fact of the matter is, brother, ain't nobody from America fleeing over there to Ethiopia, my dude. Don't nobody want to go there. Because if you look, they might have a low crime, they might have a low prison population, but look at the state of that country, my man. Who is fleeing America to go live there?
Can I answer
Nobody.
the question, please?
Nobody.
Can you slow down? Let me answer your original question.
Yes,
Who's going to lead the people? Who's going to lead?
Yes, sir.
Nobody. Nobody leads.
That's anarchy,
Personal
my man.
accountability. Wait.
That's
You got to hear
anarchy.
this. Okay. Yes, anarchy. Respect one another. Do no harm. Everybody
That's
help
not
each
gonna happen.
other. Anarchy, not chaos. Chaos is what we have today. We
Brother,
don't need
that
a
is
leader.
chaos,
We
my
don't.
man. What do you mean?
What?
If I don't like what you think, then I'm gonna have to attack you, and vice versa. That's gonna be chaos. Ain't nobody gonna abide by anybody's rules, brother. It's not.
Hey,
you guys are literally defending anarchy right now. You're literally defending chaos in the world.
Hey, Joe. I don't know this gentleman's name. What's your name and where you from? What city?
It's
my
all right,
name is
man.
Jay. I'm calling from Georgia. And you
Okay,
guys
let
ain't
me say
answering
this
no
to you.
real questions. You trying to
Let me say this to you.
I want you to answer
Let me
the
say this to
question.
you. Slow down. Take a deep breath, and you ain't
Brother,
discussing
you
law
want to yell
at
and
all.
hoop and holler.
You're just discussing law, and then you're trying to put us all together in the same boat. Who's going to defend the people? The people. Who's going to protect the people? The people. Who's going to be
What
the leaders
people
of
you
the
talking
people?
about?
The people. The people. The people who come forth.
What people you talking about, though? Americans?
The people.
What people you
What
talking
you
about?
talking about and what I want don't exist. Now slow your ass
But
down.
I'm talking about American people. I don't know what people you talking about.
I know. But here's where you under
What people you
jingoism.
talking about, though?
Here's where you're under jingoism, because I know you're a religious
what
fanatic.
people are you talking about?
Now, here's what I'm telling you.
Simple question.
Here's what I'm telling you.
Can I ask?
If you're talking about the United States of America,
you're not answering
but
anything.
what you got?
What people are you
This
talking
is why
about?
look, this is Halloween, and whoever you are from Georgia, you're here to create mischief and mayhem, chaos,
Brother, you're not
confusion.
answering the question. It's very simple, my man.
I'm not your brother. I'm not your brother. You
right,
are a
you're not
brother of
answering the
Uncle
question, my
Scam.
man. Like, what are you doing right now? You're deflecting.
Okay, my man, I'm not your man. You're trying to out-talk me. You can't do that.
You
can't do that. Will you just slow your ass down for a minute?
I understand.
You don't understand law. You're not even trying to come in with law. You're making assertions, you're casting aspersions, and you're trying to kill the messenger to hell with the message. In other words, you're not going to try to organize no people to overturn these tyrants. In other words, you like what we have. You love what we have. Matter of fact, next week, you'll have a drumstick and cranberry sauce run out your ass, right, with your Christmas tree. So you have nothing to do.
You're misunderstanding McGillicuddy. This man has very good questions. Very good questions.
He has very good questions with no answer.
I got the answers. I'm just not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to speak here. I got the answers. They're very good questions, and they need answering. So people don't worry like he's worrying. People need to have personal accountability. Okay? People can police themselves. Okay? We don't need rulers. We don't need 1,000 laws. We need one law. Do no harm. You violate that law, everybody in the United States is a police officer to stop you, has the authority to stop you. Personal accountability, man. Look,
damn right.
Me personally, do you? Let me ask you a question, Mr. George. I forgot your name. Okay.
Yeah, Jay, man.
Jay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jay. Do you need governing? Do you have to be told what you can and can't do? Do you have to ask permission for everything in life? Do you need
no,
this?
No, sir, not at all. But what I don't want is a bunch of people, if my neighbors, tell them they don't like how I'm living my life, so they can come over here and try to attack me, and all I got is a gun in my house, so therefore, my whole family, it's one of them things, my dude. Don't nobody think that deep about it. They just on the surface right now.
Don't nobody do that to you today. So why are you making up stuff, man?
But let me
Don't nobody do that to you today. You got your gun. Ain't nobody coming to attack you.
I don't even want to talk to you, brother. You don't even answer questions. Mr. Joe was doing a good thing. He was actually talking to me. You don't even answer questions. What are you even doing here?
Well, I'm not Joe. I'm John.
But you making up stuff. You making up some Halloween shit. You making up some cartoons.
No,
ain't nobody attacking you.
You
the government.
You yell and scream with your deep voice. You don't answer no questions.
This is John, by the way. This isn't Joe. Hey, your questions are right on point. Okay, you don't want somebody to come in.
Yeah, John, my bad about that.
You're on point. You don't want your neighbors coming in and tell you how you're going to live your life. But that's what we have right now with the government. That's what we have with law
No,
enforcement.
that's not
right
what I
now.
have. My neighbors don't do that because there's laws preventing them. If they do that, they go away.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
No. Law enforcement is doing that to you. They're telling you what you can and can't do.
So would you go out there and kill somebody right now that you didn't like?
No, but the thing is,
why wouldn't you do that?
Once you fall into a system, now imagine a system, do no harm. So nobody can do harm. Anybody can do whatever they want as long as you're not harming somebody.
There's bad people in the world, my man.
Yes, there are bad people in the world. As long as we have a
monetary
system.
So what are we going to do with them?
Okay, as long as we
There's
have
a few bad people in the world. Most of us are good people.
Yes, that's true too. But
no,
the thing
most
is,
of
once
us
we
are
get
bad people.
once we get rid of the monetary system, there will be no reason to be doing bad things because you won't be chasing that money to be survival.
So you think if we get rid of the system, right, as you say, that's going to change people's nature?
Yes, obviously. Yes.
Really?
We'll go back to human nature. We'll go back to human nature.
That's what I'm talking about.
People are not acting for human nature. They're acting for survival of the system they're in.
That's a lie.
You do understand that. This is not human nature.
That's a lie. People just like
I have to agree with the caller, John.
Lie,
human nature, since the beginning of the humankind, is filled with greed and vanity. I mean, just because you provide man with everything he needs and wants, he's still going to want more.
Not true,
that's
man.
not true? Well, then disprove me. Show me where in history that has
capitalism based on imperialism, the World Bank, IMF,
let's not talk
and the
about
Federal
capitalism.
Reserve.
Come on.
Where's there ever been a time in the world history that there was
killed.
peace amongst everybody? Name one time.
Yeah, where in the history of mankind?
All right, let me name it. Let me name it. If you go back in recent history, there is a time when people didn't have no aircraft carriers, no stealth bombers, no submarines, didn't have no F-16.
I said peace.
There was a time when people didn't have no fire-breathing sticks and calipers that blew smoke.
I said peace amongst the world.
Okay, Medelcon, all right. So you're telling me if we got rid of, and you and John are saying if we got rid of the entire monetary system globally, that all people are going to get along and they will put the end to the war.
Yes, because they can evolve, they will have growth and development and be prepared for elevation and ascension. Because Mother Earth provides the yield. And it belongs to the people. It does not belong to a black government or a white government.
You have nothing. Hang on, Medelcon. You have nothing to back you up to prove that would come true. Nothing at all.
According to you, you're absolutely correct.
No, not according to you.
According to you and this agent on the phone in Georgia, you're right. It has nothing.
Now, why would you say something like that, Medelcon? What agent? Come on.
Oh, because you know that I'm here for 11 million people to almost 100 million. You know that John is here for 2020.
I'm sorry that they
and this guy is trying to get some clout, and he's irrelevant because he's not here to organize nobody for freedom, justice, and total independence.
Just hooping and
this guy
man.
is not here to organize nobody for freedom, justice, and total independence. John is, that's what he says, and you here for understanding the time we live in today. And you know what I'm here for? I don't know this guy, but he's dominating the exterior of understanding times we live in today, and he's not here to organize nobody, even in his own city.
You're exposing yourself at this point, man. I can't help you anymore. I tried.
You can't help me. I hardly listen to my father and listen to God. What makes you think I'm going to listen to
I really can't.
a corrupt individual like you?
But you don't have any answers to me. You just hooping and hollering. I'm sorry. I tried.
I tell you what. Thank you for character assassinating. Kill the messenger. The hell with the message.
No, you're doing
freedom,
it yourself
justice,
right
total
now.
independence comes in massive numbers of people, and we're going to organize them with or without your ass, and that's in the Bible. I rest the case.
You're a very angry guy.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to no conclusions there on that. Angel Lady Love has been very quiet. Maybe she wants to jump into the conversation here. Angel Lady Love, and we do have a bunch of many colors and creeds and people that want to hear.
Tell these guys about the security party called WIV. Tell these guys about the law firm that you know about, that you won't tell them about it. But tell them about that, Angel Lady Love, if you will, just for 30 seconds, and then go on with your regularly scheduled programming, since this is your land and you made the laws.
I did.
Angel Lady Love, are you still there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yes, we can hear you.
From you. Go ahead. And then I got to open up the phone
line. Did you ever talk to Charles W. Isley, Angel Eagle? Did you ever talk to Charles W. Isley?
Let her speak.
Did you ever talk to the law firm of Class Action 567, Angel Eagle?
She heard
yes
you
or
in
no?
Delicon 4 times. Let her speak. Go ahead, Angel Lady
Go on
Love.
to your regularly scheduled programming after answering the question.
Oh, Lord.
That's all. Answer the question.
Go ahead, Angel Lady Love. Go ahead.
I'd like to take it to this point because, first of all, if you're not paying attention
to
what's going on,
I'm sorry. Then John. Don't forget about John out there. Go ahead.
She's just like y'all. See how she's ignoring. She knows.
Dropped, I think.
She knows. She knows, but she won't recognize it. But that's okay. That's okay.
All right,
that's
go
okay.
ahead, Angel Lady Love. I apologize for interrupting. I thought John was still. Actually, there's John. Okay. I have to scroll up the screen there. John, after Angel Lady Love. Go ahead, John. You're after Angel Lady Love. Go ahead. Don't interrupt her, Mandelicon, or I'm going to have to mute you. Go ahead, Angel Lady Love.
I just want to bring a different perspective. There are 837 billion galaxies. I didn't say stars. I didn't say planets. I said galaxies. And if you can't comprehend that, go to NASA. They'll tell you the other Earth-like planets that they've been finding since 2014 and 15 and most recently 17. And this Earth is made just like our body. 70 to 75% of the Earth is water. So our bodies.
What was that? Water? What was that? Water? You said water or water?
Water.
Okay,
water
I'm sorry.
Can be in 3 stages. We know it as liquid, gas, and solid. Okay? We know it as solid when it comes down as snow. We walk on snow. We're walking on water.
And John, you're next, by the way, so don't go nowhere. Go ahead, Angel Lady Love.
There's been no new water put on this earth in all these billions of years. My parents fertilized this earth and seeded everything in and on this earth. Our biggest problem is that we let Monsanto take our seeds and put patents on it. But moreover, our children are being taught, even in their cartoons, that the earth is called Pangea. If you look at an atlas, it looks like a jigsaw puzzle. But all of what you see as separated, it was all one piece. Now, you keep talking about Ethiopia. The whole of what you misnomer as Africa was originally Ethiopia. The bottom line is it is the high-level niggers, or if you will, stem from the word negus. You can still find Negus in your dictionary. That refers to the high Ethiopian emperors, which helped to civilize much of Europe. They didn't do a good job, but they built a lot of the very structures that are even in Spain to this day, as well as all of the big, beautiful buildings that are there, okay? Even though Spain will discount them and say they ran them out. No, they didn't. They were there for 500 years. And you'll still find different countries in Africa that has the word nigger, Nigeria, but you all mostly like to pronounce it French, Niger. The fact remains, again, I have to give you my book, Acts chapter 13:1. One of the guys was called a nigger. That's a royal person. It's not a bad word. Now, I didn't say niggard because that's what Caucasoids are. But the bottom line here is that we've got to take our words back, because the supreme being in and on this earth as it is in heaven, chapter 1 of Genesis, that's talking about my people. And it gives you the last verse, even in the Catholic and King James Version, everything was very good until these beings, that this Lord God, a third of the cherubim, female cherubim, came with Lucifer, who is an archangel. They weren't going to bow down to the original supreme beings. That's why they genetically engineered these beings. And in chapter 3 of Genesis, Lucifer himself had sexual relations with both Eve and Adam. Adam, the rib that was taken out of Adam in chapter 2 of Genesis was there was an XX chromosome. Adam was originally a female.
All right, Angel Lady Love, I got to cut you off there. Okay, I got to cut you off there. I got many other callers.
I'm about to finish.
Okay, quickly,
please.
To
finish.
Get more details, please.
We had the anthropomorphic pseudo-humankind. Those are the robots. We had those millions of years ago.
I wish these robots would give us more time.
Where do you get this from?
It's in the book.
I'm losing brain cells listening to this.
It's in the book. It's in anthropology, archaeology. There are only 3 races of people. I learned this in 3rd grade, reading my encyclopedia that bought me.
Well, I've got people that want me to call prison, actually. So, let me get to a couple other callers. Angel Lady Love, hang on tight.
This was considered a prison to those beings, the cherubim. I'm a seraphim. I want to know about that prison they built on the moon. I remember when they went up there, the space guys went up there, Armstrong and them, they built a prison on the moon. I wonder who's an inmate up there. But anyway, private caller. The Chinese, the Mongols,
could be a Chinaman.
All that gold and silver
or the Caucasoids.
and platinum.
All right,
from out of
hang on here. Private caller. Go ahead. All right, we're getting prank calls here. Next caller. Okay. All right, next caller. Go ahead. Okay. All right, we're going to end the private callers right there as we speak. Okay, John, you've been waiting patiently here. John, I want to give you the floor now. Go ahead, John.
Hey, very good, man. Wow, this conversation goes so many places. I got to apologize again. I used that word on the last show, and I shouldn't have done it, obviously. But I don't see it as something that should be labeled, hate speech, because that's just taking away our First Amendment right. It's how people use it, not the word, like she was saying. But it's got to be my fault because it was never used on this show until I did it to get everybody's attention for a second, and that was the only reason I did it. We had somebody there talking that was saying all kinds of things about a black man cannot be racist. That's what triggered me to say it. When he said the words, a black man cannot be racist, that was just such a dumb statement.
That actually was, John. I got to agree with you. That was the most ignorant statement I've really ever heard on this show. Yep.
That's why I jumped in and yelled back.
That's the only one that can be racist. The rest of them are not superior nor supreme.
You started talking about.
All right, let John finish, please. Let John finish. Go ahead, John. Yep, go ahead. Let John speak, please.
And there can be racist.
I don't think anybody should be racist.
All right, go ahead, John. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
I am.
Let John speak. He did not interrupt you,
Angel Lady Love.
Let him speak.
We're all part of the human race. Judge each person you meet individually.
No, you're not. You're humankind. That's Leviticus 18. You're a humankind.
Oh, God.
You're
Angel Lady Love, he did not interrupt you. Can you let him
melanin in your skin, you do not. You're born with cancer, period.
Okay. Wow. We are humankind. That's the kind of people we are.
I muted her temporarily. Go ahead, John.
I'm sorry. We are humankind. We are human. And we're all of one kind, the humankind on this planet, and we need to unite under that and judge people for each individual's what actions and what they say, not anything else. Racism does the opposite. It just categorizes everybody, no matter who they are or what they are about, and that's not acceptable in my world, But anyways, back to the prison. Let's go back to the prison conversation.
That would be nice.
And yeah, it would be nice, because we got a serious problem with that. But like I said in the beginning, the only way we can fix the problem is if we have control of the system. Now, the system is designed. Let me explain. The system is designed to keep you afraid of your neighbors. Your neighbors isn't what you have to fear. Your neighborhood isn't what you have to fear. It's the system that keeps you in fear of your neighbors is the problem that is in effect. So they justify the system through the fear the system creates in your mind. It is a vicious circle jerk is the proper word, I think. It is a circle jerk. Somebody said that to me once. I said, that's exactly what it is. It's a circle jerk. They create it so that you're in fear, and then they promote that what they created so that you will support them ruling over you, in the guise of protecting you, when they're the ones creating all the problems that you need protection from. That's the way the system works. If people would realize we are not acting per human nature, we are acting completely opposite of it. Human nature is to take care of each other, to look out for each other. That is human nature. But the system they put in place creates, to survive, you have to step on the other guy. You have to get above him. You have to take him down so you can use him for a stepping stool to go up. And that is not human nature. You want to go up, you give the person next to you a hand, and then you help each other up the ladder. That's human nature. Everybody makes it up together.
Can I ask you a question about that, John?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and you say a lot of good things, but I do have a question about what you just said. So, okay, so your whole thing is, we should get rid of the, the system and, the police and all these things. So let's say that we do that, right? Okay, where does that leave everybody that, let's say that they're not able to take care of their family? Let's say that they don't, let's just say that we get rid of law enforcement and government completely, right? So what's going to prevent everybody? So let's say we get rid of all that, right? What's going to prevent the people that's been bad and brainwashed by the system over all these hundreds and thousands of years? What's going to prevent their mind to change overnight like that? And what's going to protect us from hoping that they do change their mind state overnight if we get rid of these things? Like, do you not see that that's it's not going to change overnight? You know what I'm saying?
I understand the question. Okay. The reason these people are the way they are is because of the monetary system, because things are withheld from them. Now, if the ones that are willing can't force anybody to do anything, which I believe will be most everybody, willing to continue working and producing for everybody else, they will provide for everybody. We have very little of the population providing. Most of the population working is extorting everybody else. Okay? They're not providing. They're just extorting the ones that provide. If we got rid of all the jobs of extortion and everybody that worked to provide, we'd be providing more than enough for everybody to have, and nobody would have to take anything from anybody. Okay? I believe that is the future of mankind, the only chance we have for a future. We work together to help each other and not worry about, I got a neighbor over here. He never goes to work. He's home 7 days a week. Well, let him. Don't worry about it. Is the grocery store full? Are your pantries full? Does your house have power? Is everything? You got everything? Please continue doing your part. Personal accountability.
Okay, so that's my other
question. He will get with the program later on.
What's going to keep these grocery stores packed? And what's going to keep your house packed if people could just break in and take your things? They could break into these grocery stores because there's no law enforcement anymore. What's going to stop them from doing that?
Okay, law enforcement doesn't stop anybody from breaking into your house.
Really?
Okay. The need for survival. Wait. The need for survival is why people break in. They can't get what they need to survive.
Well, people can still break in, but the law enforcement
John, I got to
disagree
with you there. You're telling me a drug addict needs to survive off drugs, so because I want to rob your flat screen TV, that's going to help the man survive? Come on now.
Okay. How did this drug addict ever come to pass in society today? How did he become a drug addict? Wait.
Well, he made a choice. He made a decision to get strung out on drugs. He made a choice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's analyze the problem. You want to put that one as the problem. Okay. Where did these drugs come from? How did all of a sudden this young man that was happy go into the life of drugs? Or young woman, whatever. How did they get into the life of drugs? How did this happen to him?
Well, now you got to talk about what particular drug are you talking about. Now you're digging up a rabbit hole right now that we don't have the time to jump into. Who ships the cocaine and heroin in this country? We know the governments do. We know that.
Okay. Those are the drug addicts that are the problem. And the government is the one flooding our streets and making our children addicted to them. Plus the major pharmaceutical with their opiates.
Well, nobody can make you be addicted to anything, John. Nobody can make you
Closing comments. No more interaction.
All right, John, come on now.
Okay.
Come on now. That was rude. That was very, very rude, Medelicon. Come on now.
Timely, but rude, yes.
The point is,
don't you chaos confusion.
Let me
John.
say if I can say this simply. Let me say the point is,
go ahead,
okay,
John.
the point is,
Without interruption, folks.
If the streets weren't flooded with these drugs by design of our government, flooding the streets with these drugs, the kids would never have access to them. And they would have access to other things that were more productive instead, if that was available to them. But we don't control the system, the government does. So they make the most available thing for the kids to have fun with is the drugs. So they become drug addicts, and they get addicted to them.
That's what I'm saying, brother, but the effect's already been done. The damage has been done, my man.
But
so how are we going to reverse this?
Okay, but the police and the governments are the ones putting them there. Once we take them out of power,
the damage has been done. It's already been
it
done.
has, and we're going to have to fix it.
So if you get rid of the law enforcement, who's going to stop them from keep going?
We're going to have to. Well, first thing is stealing something is never going to make them money to buy drugs because we won't have a monetary system. Do you understand? Everything is free, so
somebody don't want to make money by selling drugs. Somebody.
What I'm saying is you have to look at the whole system, how it will fall, that, they won't be able to do this. It won't be there to be done anymore. If we don't have a value on material stuff, all right, then the material stuff can't be converted to drugs. There's no reason to steal somebody's material things.
But they still need the drugs.
And the food and the things they need are all provided. Medical will be provided freely because there are people in the medical profession not for profit. Wait.
Or they go into bad whip jobs and they can die from that.
Hang on, let's not bombard them with questions. Go ahead. One question at a time. Go ahead, John, please.
Okay. The medical profession will be about helping people instead of profit, which means these ones that are addicted right now today will get help, proper help, not more addiction, not be called criminals. They will get help so they can turn their lives around. It won't be about profit. Right now it's all about profit and hurt and use them people because they made them by design. I believe in human nature. I believe we can turn it around. If you look at most people in the world, they're like, no, we're way too far gone as a race. It's going to go annihilated. We are going to get extinct to the minimum amount and then repopulate the planet again later on and start the same thing again because that's a cycle of humanity. But I believe that we can beat the cycle. I believe that we can rise up and act humane and actually evolve. We need to evolve. We're not evolved in any way, shape, or form.
So John, I'm getting confused here. Your theories. So are you an evolutionist or are you a socialist? Because I'm getting questions here. What is your stance?
We're getting off topic. May I intervene for a minute, please, if I may, on behalf of the people? I heard the two frenemy combatants, and let me say this: that people may not get all they pay for in this world, but they must certainly pay for all they get, even if they don't get what's entitled to them. Okay?
That doesn't make very much sense at all.
I know. Because that's
sounds good.
Right, but
sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
The reason why it don't make sense to you because you want to keep what you got. But I'm going to wind it up with this. I said a minute now. You keep interrupting. Now, if you look at what the people deserve, the people are unstable because they're in power.
Deserve or want? Hang on now.
Let me finish my sentence. You said a minute. See, you're a Christian, but you tell a lie. You didn't even give me a minute. You keep interrupting me.
I know. Come on.
I said that people pay for what they get. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you.
I never said I was a Christian.
There's only one people that's a race, and that's a race to get the most access, which we deserve. We've already paid blood, sweat, and tear equity to get the most access to water, food,
Who
clothing.
says you deserve that?
We
What are
paid
you
the price.
talking about? When you're born, into this world, what do you mean deserve?
Why are you doing this? Listen, I'm going to tell you this, and I mean this. When people in poverty, vice is created by the government. Therefore, there's a dual economy, a legal economy and an illegal economy.
Use the word people.
And when people get the most access to water, when the people get the most access to water, food, clothing, shelter, health care, protection, education, not indoctrination, which every government, black or white, is supposed to provide, if the people
get
the most access
Who said, what are you talking about? The government needs to provide you with something.
If the people were getting the most access, there would be no poverty without the government.
Act
there would be no poverty without the corporations. Without the corporations and without the government, there would be no poverty. The people, black and white, are not getting the most access to their birthright. Okay, I'm wrong according to you. That's okay. But you're violating my right to say what I see. And I know you got Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder syndrome. Your eyes, you don't keep your lying eyes. But black poor people and white poor people, white people, black and poor people are not getting the best represented government. In 2020, white governments and black governments are not providing the people. White governments and black governments are not providing the people.
I'm not talking about white or black. You didn't say white or black either. You said the governments of this world need to provide the people with everything they need.
No, I didn't say that. I said they should provide them with the essentials of life. The essentials of life is representative government based on constituency. Constituency are the people. We are not getting our essentials of life because the legislature is robbing, raping, pillaging, and plundering. They are liars, and they must go to jail. And we, the people, by the people, for the people, we are going to bring in the process to where every life-giving resource belongs to the family.
How do you intend on doing that, Mandela Khan? How do you intend on doing that in your peaceful revolution?
Just listen to John a little bit, and then you'll hear about the Class Action 567 later. The back to the matter, the only race is freedom, justice, total independence. We went over that on the last show, Mandela Khan. You gave me some case number that doesn't even exist. I'll tell you what, Angel Eagle, love, she didn't answer my question deliberately. She talked to Charles W. Aziz, the Security Party. Angel Eagle, love, she talked to my law firm. She talked to my law firm. And she deliberately did not answer. But you don't want to acknowledge it because...
Everyone, order, please. Order, like John said. That was good what you just said. That's right. All right, look, we can go into overtime here, but let's go with closing thoughts here. Everybody who's on the panel here, even people I haven't gotten to, let's start at the very bottom here. Let's see. I'll mute them fast, John. I promise. If they do nonsense, but all right, private caller, go ahead. Private
Joe,
caller.
I have a question for John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, my question is his idea global or is this a U.S. thing?
Okay, I think it needs to start in the U.S. because now our military complex is being used.
Simple question, simple answer.
Yes.
Is it global or is it U.S.?
I'm thinking globally, yes, but it needs to start in the U.S. The U.S. military is a global terrorist organization.
All right, John. It was a simple question, like you said. Hang on. Order, like you said, John. You answered the question. Now go ahead, caller. You have another question for John.
Yeah, how are you going to get the Chi-Coms on board with your scheme here?
The what on board?
The Chinese communists. How are you going to get them on board? They only care about one thing, money. So how are you going to get them on board? Let's hear it.
What the hell do a capitalist care about?
I don't plan to force anybody to do anything.
No, Mandela Khan. Nope. I'll open you back up at closing thoughts. No, we're trying to have a dialogue here. We're going to stop this nonsense. Go ahead, sir. Ask the question again for John, and then John give an answer, please.
The communists and Chinese, the Communist Chinese Party cares about one thing, money. How are you going to get them on board with your global scheme?
Okay, the United States also cares nothing about money. But the point is, it's not about getting them on board, okay? These countries are already having revolutions of the people trying to free themselves, okay? If we can get the United States, our country, in line to where we're controlling it, other countries will then have an opportunity to control their countries because they won't have the United States military terrorist organization and the CIA operating in their country destabilizing it, okay? And now, when the people in those countries that don't have guns decide they want to rise up against their country, we can supply them guns so they can find their own freedom, okay? Communism, all these labels, I don't associate with any of them. We have dictatorships is all we've got. These labels are all false and make-believe. And I don't associate with any label, by the way. Somebody asked earlier, what am I? I'm none of the above. Okay? I'm a one free-thinking man, and I think everybody should be the same.
Okay, John. Okay, John.
For
All right,
myself.
caller. Hang on, John. Okay, we can get into your background there, maybe another show. But, okay, you answered the question. Caller, you got anything else you want to ask, John?
Well, I didn't apply the label. They apply themselves the label of communists. And he definitely didn't answer the question. So maybe do some homework on the Chinese Communist
they
Party.
Apply the label communist. It's not up to us to make them do anything. They can do it on their own. They apply the label communist because the government's in charge, want us to fear communism.
Wait a second, John. John, hang on now. Now I got to interrupt. You just said that in November 2nd, 2020, you're going to exercise the Second Amendment peacefully to turn things around to the way that you think that the global community should react and live. That means do no harm. That's what you said, John. So you do have to make the Chinese believe that way. You do have to make them, otherwise they're not going to. Otherwise, you have 4.5 billion people over there that are going to say, "Hell no, John." You know what I mean?
You got 4.5 billion people over there. They're under the rule of their government, just like the people here are under the rule of the government. When we take control of our government, our rule of our own selves as a nation, okay, then it's up to the other nations to do the same for themselves. We're not going to force anything on anybody. If they want to continue their monetary system and their way of life, let them. We don't need foreign trade.
All right, John. You answered. Okay, hang on, everybody. Okay, so we as America adopted John Son's plan from Mississippi, and the rest of the world, like John said, we can't make them do it. Now, we have no more military in America, according to John's way of life.
No. We have military. Don't say we don't have military. We maintain our military.
You just said there's no government. You said no government, John. Who's going to be in charge?
No government. We keep the military. The people are in charge of the military.
The people? Oh, Lord. You're going to tell me like some wacko that's locked up in a supermax prison, he's going to be in charge of some guy who raped like the serial killer down in Florida? He's going to help because we got to release everybody from prison in your world, John. So therefore, he's going to be in charge too? It sounds like anarchy and chaos to me, John.
No one person is in charge. Okay, democracy.
Yeah, but he's going to contribute.
Democracy is a dream that the people control. That's what real democracy is. We don't have it.
Who are
when
the people then?
Who
are the people?
The people.
Who are the people?
The collective people united in a democracy, in a real democracy.
A democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on once for dinner. What are you talking about? A democracy.
If you can
what's
set
a
up
democracy,
a
John?
With one
what's
law,
a democracy?
Where the people collectively make the decision, but
That's
they
not
have to
a
have all the
democracy,
true
John.
information. Yes, it
That's
is.
not a democracy.
It is.
A democracy
the people
is John. Yeah, I mean, wait a second here. All right, John. Let's not get into a debate here. Caller, do you have any other questions for John, real quick?
No, just some feedback. I think he probably needs to do a little bit more research and particularly around how to influence people before he's going to try to execute this plan.
Okay. All right. You made some feedback. John, do you want to give some feedback to the caller, John?
He's 100% correct. I'm not about trying to influence people. I'm just pointing out the facts, and you make your own decision. I'm not here to demand anybody do anything. I mean, everybody's got to make their own decision, man. If you want freedom, we got to get freedom. But it's not about getting freedom and then turning around and say, hey, I'm going to put you in charge. I'm going to give up my freedom. That's the part I don't get. We don't need the same system put back in place because all you're going to do is get the same tyranny. Now let's maintain our freedom. The original Constitution, man, was very beautiful how it explained everything. You know, it's a shame that it's only in my head now.
I wish I could read this original Constitution, John. I wish I could because you have given me no references or how to find it.
Well, like I say, the only thing is somebody out there, man, go find it inside of an old book. Go to antique bookstores, go to antique newspapers, find it. It's out there. They haven't disappeared all the copies. I know that. If you find it, get it to me. I will not be afraid to speak out loud about it, even if I put a bullet in my head.
This Constitution that you're talking about is in a book someplace? Because I've been trying to do research and find it, and I can't find it.
I'm sure. Well, you're not going to find it online. Absolutely not. But you're going to have to go find old books. You're going to have to find an old book that was published in the 1800s. You're not going to find it. Other words, they control.
Is there a
the
name of those books? Do you have a name of those books by any chance that I could research? Because
dude, if I knew where to find the book, I'd have it in my hands today. Do you understand that?
Okay.
If I knew, I don't know.
All right, John. All right. Well, John's read this Constitution someplace, and I can't find it. He even can't find it, he said. If anyone's out there who could find this Constitution that John's talking about, we sure would like to hear from you out there. He said it's in a book, or it's inside of a book, maybe. He's read this document that is the original Constitution, he's saying. So I'm calling all cars out there. If someone could find this original Constitution that John's talking about, I sure would like to read it or at least hear about it. I really would. Let's see here. Next caller, private caller, go ahead. We're going to go into overtime now, so if you hang up, you won't get back on, but I'll get to everybody here before we wrap it up. Next caller, go ahead. All right, you're done, so you don't have to worry about coming back on. All right, next caller. All right, he's calling in from multiple numbers, this guy. All right, okay, here. Next caller. Go ahead. Oh, Lord. All right, let me hang up on you. Goodbye. All right, I'm trying to eliminate them, John. I'm trying to get rid of these people. Next one. Go ahead. All right, let's hang up on that person. I'm trying to clear out the phone lines here. Angel Lady Love, closing thoughts here tonight's show. Everyone will get 3.5 minutes. Go ahead. The floor is yours, Angel Lady Love. Angel Lady Love. Hello, did the cockazoids get you? Did the cockazoids get you? All right, maybe not, I don't know. Or did the smart meters get you out in California? I know you wanted to talk about that here tonight, but you just, like John said, have a lot to say, and I don't think you know how to present it on a podcast show where, people could absorb some of the information that you're trying to give. So I'm not sure that you really know how to do that, Angel Lady Love. But I'm willing to give you a chance. So next caller here, Angel Lady Love, is that you? Because you call in from a blocked number, which really makes me skeptical right there off the bat. Let's see here. Okay, we're winding down here. Phone lines are jammed. Okay, folks. All right, Mr. Mandela-Con, I guess I'm going to go ahead with you for some closing thoughts here. Unmuted. Oh, hang on. I'm having problems here. Phone line. Oh, hang on, Mandela-Con. Go ahead. Can you hear me, Mandela-Con?
We're on course for something spectacular. We have to have a change of heart and choose a new way of life.
I'm going to mute everybody here. Let me mute everybody. Okay. All right. Apparently, that's what we get. We're trying to have a dialogue here. I lost John. This is what we try to do here, and the trolls just attack, and they come over the show. We went way off topic here, as usually, like we usually do. We have a very popular platform here, obviously. It's quite clear that we do. The problem is, how do we weed these people out, folks? Do we censor all callers from now on? Is that what we need to do? Do we need to change the format and how we do the show? Excuse me. It'll go against everything that I've been trying to preach since 2014. However, with the buildup of all the callers and all the people that want to join in, we've got to eliminate these trolls. They just destroyed the last half of this show. And we need to try to get rid of them somehow, some way. So I'm open for suggestions. Anyone who wants to call in, And maybe it's time to start getting rid of private callers. You call in for a private number, you will not get through. Maybe that's a good start. Get rid of the private callers. If you've got to hide your phone number, then obviously there's something wrong, and you're obviously scared of something, or you're trying to hide something. So maybe that's what we need to do. All right, Mr. Mendelicon, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Everyone, in order to save yourself and your family, must have a change of heart and choose a new way of life according to the sign of the times in which we live in today. If you lay the map of the whole planet, that's where the Creator presides. The Creator does not preside under the Confederate flag of jingoism or the red, white, and blue of jingoism, under white people and jingoism, or black people under jingoism in the United States of America that only represent 5% of the human population. And if you're so-called black or indigenous or mongoloid and not a Caucasoid, you only represent 0.1% of humanity. This thing called melanin people, we only represent 0.1% on the planet Earth, according to the Creator, where there's 205 nations on the planet Earth. Now, having said
and we're
that,
in overtime now, Mendelicon, so I just want to let you know there'll be no new callers, but I will take the people on the call board that I do have who pressed number 1. I just want to let you guys know that, so if you hang up, you won't get back through. So go ahead, Mendelicon.
Having said all that, you have to come out of your microvision under jingoism of the United States of America and go to the collective macrovision as relates to freedom, justice, total independence of the human family based on the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution. And if you American war criminals who are in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the police forces, the prison guards, the constables, if you go outside this country and violate the sovereignty, integrity, and dignity of independence outside of the United States of America, you are a war criminal. And I'm only here to help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to recognize, since this country where white nationalism and black nationalism, you're saying, well, we got to do what's best for us in America. Okay, that's okay. But what's best for so-called us in America is not best for the 99.9% of African indigenous sovereign people. It's not best for the 95% of white people that do not live in the United States of America. 95% of white people do not live in the United States of America on the planet Earth. So what I'm saying is something different than what y'all saying, because y'all haven't selected amnesia based on your genesis of the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution, and United States of America. That's what you're looking at. That's micro. But you keep talking about this supreme being that represents all of humanity. And since we are all under kill or be killed, it had to be a genesis on how that began. Because there was a time recently, not so long ago, that we were all under live and let live in one love. And I know y'all forgot, but later on I'm going to help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to recognize. And that is, it's time for us to overturn the tyrants from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo. So the Chinese, the Russians, the North Koreans, the Iranians, the Venezuelans, and the Cubans, they're in perfect harmony with the non-aligned nations, because none of those nations has ever attacked African and indigenous people. As a matter of fact, they have always helped us. Yes, even Russia and China has always helped the liberation struggle for sovereignty and integrity and dignity and independence from who? The European Union, the Pope, the King of England, the Mafia, the federal government, international cartel cabal. That's the Mafia now, the secret society, where you can't stand up and tell the truth. You can't be a whistleblower on your own constituents. No cop will
tell on another cop, even if he see him kill little children. No doctor will tell on another doctor, even if he forms malpractice and other atrocities. No judge will go against their own mafia because they got a code of silence, el morte, right? So I'm just telling you something that you probably thought that, well, look, we looking kind of get rid of the gangs and the drugs. Most people ain't on drugs. Most people can't get a quality of life that gives them the freedom, justice, and total independence to move freely throughout the planet, which the Creator designed. And this is where we got to get to. So I'm going to rest the case right there. I know I said a lot, and I know it's too much for some of you independent people or IP program, because some of y'all are a little slow over here. But that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. But we know I came to create chaos, confusion, mischief, and mayhem. I didn't come to bring live and let live, one love. Because since y'all want to quibble, wallow in vomit, and do a paralysis of analysis, and you don't want to organize the people to become the people's government, that's what I'm here to help you remember and what you forgot, because the transition of power comes through the matriarch. And all wars are started by men, black men and white men. All rape, all lying, stealing, and killing the commodities, the treasury. Not the treasury above you women's knees, but the treasury in Mother Earth. That's the stolen legacy, not black or white. It's wrong versus right. It was wrong for any man to come on Mother Earth and say that this is my government. I'm the power. I got the power of life and death over you. I got the atomic bomb. I'm the eagle. I'm in control of the lords of the air, the lords of the sea, the masters of everything we purvey. To the victor goes the spoils. I won, I won, I won. You's a damn lie. Much love, much respect to each and every one of you. Unhappy Halloween. And I know y'all going to have your drumstick and your cranberry sauce running out your ass in a few days. In a few days after that, y'all going to be under the mistletoe, kissing under Santa Claus, but Santa Claus and Christ, one's a lie and one's the truth. And then y'all going to say, look, this is December 31st, Mandela. We can ready to have a new year, but the same old genocide, the same old war crimes, the same old prisons, the same old terrorists, and the same old situation. But we got divine intervention because we got John in the house, John the Baptist, the cohort, the John the Baptist. And John the Baptist is like you, Joe. You are Batman. Joe is Robert. You are the Lone Ranger, and John
the Dark
is
Knight
Tonto. John is Tonto. But guess who I am? I'm Cochise. I'm the Mino make him waddle with the white eyes. White man speaking with fourth tongue. Death to the white eyes and all that shit. That's me, right? So I'm not saying kill you.
I hear you.
I'm talking about kill your social system. It's the government,
all right,
people.
Mandela
The people are the government, and the government not the people.
Let's go with some new callers here, Mandela Con, since we're in OT, and I don't know they'll cut us off. But let's go to 757. It's been waiting a while. 757, go ahead.
Hi, Joey. Just wanted to wish you happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy holidays to you, Ashley. Happy holidays. Can you use your real voice, please?
What the hell?
Yeah, they are something. Let me tell you, they follow me around everywhere on the internet: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
760.
760. Hang on, Medelcon. 760. Go ahead.
No.
760. Come on now. All right. 760 going once, going twice. All right, my friend who's been on this entire podcast here since the beginning of the show. Go ahead. I didn't catch you. I think it's 912. Go ahead, 912. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. First of all, thanks for having me tonight. This was a really good conversation, and so I'm gonna try to sum all this up for what I believe in my head. There's a bunch of different things said tonight. So what I would say about John first, his whole thing, it kind of gets discredited because in his world that he's trying to promote, the strong will outweigh the bad. If a majority of the strong vote for a certain thing and the majority of the weak vote for a certain thing that is, that's opposite of what the majority of the strong vote for. The strong will outvote and end up demolishing the weak majority of the weak that vote for this thing. So anyway, you'll have the same exact system that we got right now, though, which is kind of somebody rules over the rest type of thing. So that's already out of the window. And then when it comes to MandelaCon, he's actually, I don't know if you understand this, but he actually represents he represents the exact thing that he actually preaches against, which is racist white folk. He actually is a racist himself. So he's pretty much confused on that standpoint, bro. He's got the same mind state that he preaches against, except a different skin color.
That's a damn lie. I got more revolutionaries as white and women than you ever seen.
I'll let you speak, my man.
Okay? I got more white people with the class action 567. He's a damn liar. He's a damn liar.
That's fine. You can answer him, MandelaCon, if you want. You can answer him at the end, but let him speak. Show him his respect because he's proving you to be wrong. Come on now. Let him speak.
Yeah, anyway, like I said, so his point's out the window as well, though. And what I would say about, everybody talking about getting rid of the law enforcement and the government, that's okay. I think the government should be smaller as well. And I don't agree with a lot of the judicial system practices and all these things. But what happens is people don't understand that they got to be very careful when dealing with these situations. These are very delicate situations, and I don't believe that the people that have the most ideas about.
Have you ever served in the military? Are you a military veteran? I'm telling you, I know you are. You damn right he fought in the military. He represents the red, white, and blue.
Can I finish?
Let him finish, MandelaCon. Let him finish.
I mean, he's proving my point for me. You entertain a clown, you become part of the circus. So he's pretty much doing my job.
You won't tell the truth. You are a military veteran of Uncle Sam. You get $10,000 for college and the GI Bill. You are dismissed.
Never served in the military. Anyway, though, what I was saying
Go ahead, sir. Take 2 minutes. Take 2 minutes, and I got Ashley who wants to use her real voice here. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm not a military man, first off. Anyway, what I was saying, though, he proved his point. Anyway, proved me right. But what I was saying, though, when it comes to the judicial system and the government, people don't answer the right questions about these things, and they don't ask the right questions. This is a very delicate matter because when you get, I agree that the government is way out of control, and I believe that the police force has got way out of control due to the government being out of control. So what I would say is, though, that's an honest conversation to have, but people got to be very careful. It's a very sensitive subject, and people should ask the right questions, the most common sense questions, and they should also have the answers. The people that are very passionate about it, that have this ideal utopia, they should have the answers when we ask simple questions, which they don't a lot of the times. So this is a very dangerous subject to get into, but I love the conversation, man, and I just want people to know, dude, I agree with a lot of these things, but when people ask you simple common sense questions and you beat around the bush and you hoop and you holler and you scream and you call caucasoid and use zoidism and all these isms and all these phobias and hemorrhoidism and all these things everybody throw out there, my dude.
You heard the word communism. You didn't say a damn thing about the white man
all right,
who spoke about communism.
He's trying to wrap it up. Give him a chance, please. I'll let you respond, for goodness sake. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. One more minute. Go ahead.
It's okay, man. It's okay, Mr. Gibson. Like I said, he's proving my point for me. But like I said, dude, good conversation tonight, man. And I appreciate you having me tonight. And I just wish people would ask honest questions and answer honest questions if they're so passionate about it. I think people should do their due diligence. Good.
Do your due diligence. Okay, MandelaCon. Hang on. Before I let you wrap it up, MandelaCon. Hang on. Before I let you wrap it up here, where is Ashley at here? Real quick here. Got something to ask MandelaCon, actually. Hang on here. I don't know where you are, Ashley, what your number is, because you call in. Hang on, there you are right there, 757. Go ahead, Ashley. Ask MandelaCon. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, MandelaCon, I got a question. If you could, would you sell your soul to the devil if you could make the Ethiopian Empire the #1 superpower in the world?
Oh, Lord.
Okay, let me answer your question and respond to the last, and I'll say this word loosely, gentleman, who gave a backhand slap to Angel Eagle Love, as she's the only one that mentioned caucasoids. You never, in 3 years, Joe Gibson, heard me mention the word caucasoid, but Angel Eagle Love, I very well orientated her in this sector, as well as Tyrone Thompson, and she controls Tyrone Thompson and talk real shitty. Let me put that on the table. And for this guy, to come on, whoever he is in Georgia, to character assassinate and kill the messenger, to hell with the message, he don't want to be with the matriarch, just like you. even just like maybe John. That's okay. I'm only here to help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to remember. And here's where the lady who just asked that question, I know that before the naming of the United States of America, the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean, it was called the Ethiopian Ocean. This is West Africa, the Ethiopian Empire. Checkmate, slam dunk, touchdown. I rest her case.
All right. Hang on, you got my number here. I'm typing someone in the chat room there. They're doing a layover in Greensboro supposedly, and you got my number. Anytime.
How's the weather down there? Right. How's the tornadoes? How's the violent turbulence?
We survived the thunderstorm. Let me tell you something. It was pretty bad. The weather down here was pretty bad, actually, for a couple hours. But thanks for asking. I appreciate that. I really do. Hey, we got to wrap up the podcast here tonight. Everybody have a good night. Take care.